A day of mourning has been announced in Lebanon after hours of gunfire in Beirut killed 6 people and left dozens injured. The shooting started as Hezbollah and its allies gathered to protest, calling for the removal of the judge leading the investigation into last year's huge port explosion. Lebanon's president has vowed that those responsible will be held accountable. There have been calls for calm as the Lebanese army says it's arrested 9 people. Police in Norway have arrested a man accused of killing 5 people with a bow and arrow. Police say they're treating the incident as an act of terrorism. And a Banksy painting that shredded itself the last time it went to auction has been resold for more than 10 times its previous value at a record $25 million. Love is in the Bin sold at auction for almost $2 million back in 2018.
In Lebanon, at least 1 person is killed and 8 wounded in clashes between political groups in Beirut. In Taiwan, the mayor of Kaohsiung expresses deepest sorrows after a building fire kills 46 people and injures 41. In Norway, officials say a Danish man is suspected of killing 5 people in a bow and arrow attack they described as an act of terror. And in Belgium, 5 biracial women separated from their Congolese mothers when the country was under Belgian rule accused the country of crimes against humanity in court.
We start here in Japan, where political leaders are gearing up for an election at the end of the month. Prime Minister Kishida Fumio dissolved the Diet's lower house on Thursday for the vote.
We must
do all we can to fight the coronavirus and get the economy back on track. We also have to build a new social economic system for the post-corona era. I would like the people to decide who can carve out a future after the pandemic.
Kishida says he'll present to the public the framework of his government's anti-coronavirus measures on Friday. It'll include plans to secure more hospital beds, administer booster vaccine shots, and make oral antiviral medication available. Kishida says he'll hammer out a comprehensive and bold economic package immediately after the election. He proposes creating a new form of capitalism in which the middle class receives a greater share of the benefits of growth.
My government will not leave everything to the market in terms of distribution, nor will we do everything. We will increase people's wealth by letting both the private sector and the public sector play their own roles. We will not only increase employment, but also raise the income of each and every worker.
Kishida has also stressed his commitment to bolstering the country's defense. He said his ministers are preparing to revise the national security strategy and related defense programs. Kishida became the leader of the main ruling party last month and was elected prime minister by the Diet last week. The time between the new prime minister taking office and the dissolution of the lower house was the shortest in post-war Japan. Meanwhile, the leader of the largest opposition Constitutional Democratic Party is also speaking about the upcoming election. Edano Yukio talked about how opposition parties have decided not to run against each other in many single-seat constituencies to help win seats.
I'm strongly determined to make the lower house dissolution the end of one-party dominance of Japan's politics. We've been working to field unified candidates against the ruling coalition in 50 to 100 single-seat districts. As a result, we have now succeeded in effectively having such one-on-one contests in 220 districts. We will use this opportunity to take the first step to change Japanese politics.
People in Japan reacted to the news and talked about their priorities.
I used to run a restaurant, but I had to close it because business was so bad due to the coronavirus pandemic. Even if the economy recovers in Tokyo, it will take a long time for the economy in other regions to recover. We won't be able to survive unless the economy gets back on track.
I can't go to school. I want to study hard, but most classes are online because of the coronavirus, and I can't find part-time jobs either.
I want to vote for a candidate who is willing to financially support us and who will keep that promise.
The most important issue is the global situation, including China, South Korea, and North Korea. How to stimulate the economy and promote growth is also a crucial issue.
Earlier, my colleague Yamamoto Miki spoke with our senior political commentator Masuda Tsuyoshi.
It's been less than 2 weeks since Kishida launched his administration, and that makes this the fastest election call since World War II. Why would you say Kishida is so eager to get people to the polls?
Well, the election actually has to be held now because the terms of lower house members will soon expire. But we can't ignore the lightning short campaign season. Candidates have just 2 weeks to make a case to voters. I think Kishida wants to strike before there's a chance for his approval numbers to drop. Daily COVID case counts are way down, and he just won a leadership election. If the LDP wants to keep a strong Diet majority, the time to act is now.
So you mentioned the pandemic. How will that affect the campaign?
Candidates are all focused on ways to stop another surge in infections. The opposition has criticized government strategies. Now, those parties will have to convince voters they would do a better job. Then there's the damaged economy, and it's not just about stimulus. Both the Liberal Democratic Party and the largest opposition party, the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, wants to expand the middle class. And since their main policies are similar, it will likely come down to who has the more convincing plan.
Right. And the Liberal Democratic Party goes into the election holding a strong majority. What's their outlook?
It's true the LDP had a strong showing last time. Here's how the results looked. The Liberal Democratic Party won well over half the seats, even without its junior partner. This time around, that may be difficult. According to an NHK opinion poll, Kishida's cabinet has an approval rating of 49%. That's 13 points lower than when Suga launched his cabinet. Rival parties want to take advantage of this slow start. The biggest opposition parties are talking about running a single candidate in some districts. Some LDP members say they expect to lose dozens of seats. So if they maintain even a slim majority, they will consider it a victory.
All sides of the story. Depend on us for coverage from across the globe.
A fire in the southern Taiwan city of Kaohsiung engulfed a 13-story building early Thursday morning. At least 46 people have been killed and more than 40 others injured. Authorities said the strong blaze destroyed many floors of the building. Local media say the 40-year-old building has shops on its lower levels and residential space for around 120 households on the floors above. The fire has been put out, but firefighters are continuing their search for missing people. The cause of the fire has yet to be determined. The family of a Sri Lankan woman who died at an immigration facility in Japan has sent a letter to Japanese Prime Minister Kishida. They're calling for full accountability of the incident. Wishma Sandamali died in March at the facility in Nagoya, central Japan. Officials there detained the 33-year-old for overstaying her visa. The Immigration Services Agency released a final report in August on their investigation into her death. It found the facility lacked a system for providing proper medical care to detainees. But Wishma's family says the report fails to explain events leading up to her death. Wishma's sister, Purnima, is visiting Japan. She and a lawyer for the family said on Wednesday they sent a letter to the Prime Minister. The letter demands that the immigration authorities admit their responsibility for the incident. It also includes their strong wish for Japan to improve its treatment of detainees. Purnima said she wants Kishida to understand the bereaved family's suffering and wants to know why her sister died. The family has visited the Nagoya District Public Prosecutor's Office and demanded that it investigate the incident as a criminal case. The Indonesian resort island of Bali has started accepting foreign tourists for the first time in more than a year. The government said travelers from 19 countries, including Japan and France, are allowed to enter the island if they're fully vaccinated. They're required to spend their first 5 days in quarantine. The government had initially planned to welcome foreign arrivals in July, but postponed the plan due to the spread of the coronavirus. Bali's international airport is in the process of reopening, though no direct international flights to the island have been scheduled for this month.
I hope the situation here will again be like it was, crowded with tourists.
Indonesia has been reporting around 1,000 daily cases in the past week. In Bali, 49 new cases were confirmed on Wednesday. Severe tropical storm Kompasu has brought heavy rain and stormy weather to southern parts of China. Our meteorologist Saika Mori has a look at the situation in world weather.
Tropical storm Lion Rock made landfall in Hainan and also southern parts of China during the last weekend. And we are also looking at stormy conditions because of another storm system called Kompasu, and it brought heavy rainfall. Nearly 200 millimeters of rain fell in 24 hours in Hainan. This is the video coming out of the place. Kompasu made landfall in Hainan on Wednesday with winds of 120 kilometers per hour. Schools, all construction sites, and amusement parks were closed. And in Hong Kong, the stock market canceled trading Wednesday. As a result, authorities suspended both road and water traffic to reduce the risk of disasters. The system is weakening and drifting over the Indochina Peninsula. We will continue to see heavy rainfall over the Indochina Peninsula. Meanwhile, things are cooling down across Mongolia. The temperature is going to be -2 on Friday, slowly warming up into the weekend. Seoul and Tokyo will see very low temperatures as we go into Sunday. Meanwhile, Pamela made landfall in Mexico as a Category 1 hurricane. The system swept through Mexico. The leftover moisture will bring heavy rain over the U.S. from the southern plains to the Great Lakes region. This storm system will bring stormy conditions across central Canada, including snow. This high is keeping things dry and warm across the eastern United States and parts of eastern Canada. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s in Toronto, New York, and Washington, D.C. on Thursday. Staying warm into Friday, but cooling down to the teens in Toronto on Saturday, and 15 is your expected high on Sunday in Toronto. And New York and Washington, D.C. could see 18 degrees on Sunday. Sunny weather will continue for the next couple of days in both cities. That's it from me. Stay safe.